to cross the Blue Ridge Mountains at Rockfish Gap. The other three tunnels were called the Little Rock Tunnel, the Brookville Tunnel, and the Greenwood Tunnel. The original Blue Ridge Tunnel was 4,237 feet long. At the time of its construction, it was known as the longest tunnel in the United States. From the eastern entrance, the tunnel slopes upward from an elevation of 1,430 feet to an elevation of 1,500 feet at the western end. Claudius Crozet's plan to construct the tunnel consisted of teams of workers advancing from both sides of the mountain, each team progressing roughly 26 feet per month, despite the use of their 3 8-hour shifts. Construction of the tunnel was done by drilling holes into the rock using a hand drill and hammer. The drill bit was held by a person called the shaker. His job was to turn the drill slightly after each swing and give it a shake to flip out the rock dust from within the hole. The person hammering the drill bit was the steel driver. He swung his hammer as hard as he could to pound the drill into the rock. Black powder was the explosive used during this time, as dynamite had not been developed yet. Mechanization had not been developed either, so after each explosion, the men had to pick up the pieces by hand and put them into a cart to be hauled away. The workers were tasked with creating a tunnel for one railroad track that was 16 feet wide and 20 feet high. The design was elliptical shape, seen as an advantage in providing adequate clearance, support for the tunnel roof, and cost less to construct. Now, you would think blasting through solid rock was the most difficult part of the tunnel project, but dealing with softer rock turned out to be much more challenging. When they encountered solid rock, there was no need for additional bracing to create a roof for the tunnel, but soft rock did require reinforcement. The only way to do that was to use arching brick to shore up the ceiling in the soft rock areas. During construction of the western portal, workers exposed a fracture filled with water about 900 feet in. As a result, all these years later, the tunnel constantly stays wet. Ditches were added to the tunnel to funnel the water out. Workers also encountered ventilation problems, which were remedied through the use of a ventilating device so named after its inventor, Sir John Burgoyne. This device was powered by mules on a treadmill and allowed work to continue, constructing vertical ventilation shafts to this depth. 6 years after construction began on both sides of the mountain, the two portals finally converged.